slow everything down. Not asking, the bass is telling you. Been moving at a pace that isn't mine. Somebody else's speed and somebody else's grind. Forgot that I get to decide how fast I go. Got swept up in the current and forgot slow. Forgot what it felt like to take the long way home. To sit in the car after parking, just alone, before the front door opens and the evening starts. Just 1 minute in the car, that's where the peace is. An unrequested minute before the next thing. In the space between the doing and the being. And the bass has been trying to tell me all along that slow is not behind, slow is where you belong. Slow everything down. The bass already did. Slow everything down like you did as a kid. Before the world told you there was somewhere to be. Slow everything down. That's the only way to see what's actually here, what's actually real. Slow everything down and let yourself feel. Slow down enough to notice the sky last night. Actual clouds doing something actually right. Slow down enough to hear my own breathing, which I've been doing shallow without even seeing. Slow down enough to call someone I've been meaning to for months. Took 3 minutes, meant everything through. That's what speed costs, the small things that matter most. The phone calls in the sky and being present as a host of your own life, which the bass is trying to say every time it drops below. The noise of the day is saying I'm down here, come find me. Be slow, everything you're looking for is in the underflow. Slow everything down. The bass already did. Slow everything down like you did as a kid. Before the world told you there was somewhere to be. Slow everything down. That's the only way to see what's actually here, what's actually real. Slow everything down and let yourself feel. The bass has been slow this whole time, waiting for you to catch up. It never rushed. It never sped up for the world. It just stayed at its own tempo and kept the door open. Come in. Now, I practice slow like it's a discipline, not laziness. Intentional beginning of every hour with one conscious breath. One moment where I'm not performing my best, just being, not achieving, not producing, just the body in the bass and the reducing of everything to its essential core, which is this, being alive and nothing more. West Coast taught me that the hard way round, that the whole point of the ride is the sound of the bass through the speakers on a slow drive home, and the feeling in your chest that you're not alone. Slow, slower, that's it. West Coast pace, always. Not doing great tonight, and that's okay. It's actually okay. Running the same thought for the 100th time, looking for the version where everything's fine. trying to control the things I never could, replaying what I said and what I should have said instead. The mind loves that game, building courtrooms in my chest to assign the blame, and then appealing and retrying every night, like the verdict's gonna change if I get it right. But it never does, the spiral just keeps going, and the only thing that slows it is the bass flowing, and low and warm underneath the noise of it all, catching me before I hit the wall. It's okay to not be okay tonight. Don't have to fix it, don't have to get it right. It's okay to not be okay, let it be. The bass holds all of it, so you don't have to. It's okay to not be okay right now. Healing isn't linear, and you're figuring out how. The anxiety isn't you, it just lives with you, like a loud roommate doing what it's gonna do. You can acknowledge it without becoming it. You can feel it without letting it be the summit of who you are. It's just a feeling passing through. However long it takes, it doesn't define you. And tonight with the bass and the smoke and the slow, you're allowed to just feel it and let it go. Not force it out, not fight it, just observe. Give the feeling all the space it needs to curve around you and pass on by at its own pace. You're safe in here, this is a safe place. It's okay to not be okay tonight. Don't have to fix it, don't have to get it right. It's okay to not be okay, let it be. The bass holds all of it, so you don't have to. It's okay to not be okay right now. Healing isn't linear, and you're figuring out how. Hey, you've been carrying a lot for a long time. You don't have to have it figured out tonight. The bass is here, the smoke is here. You're allowed to just rest. Just rest. You would never say to someone that you love the things you say to yourself when push comes to shove. So try the other way, the gentle way. Tonight, talk to yourself the way you talk to someone right in the middle of their hard time needing care. Tell yourself you're doing well, just being there. You're showing up, just breathing through the day. That's enough, that has always been enough to say. And the bass underneath you knows that truth already. Every low note saying you are held and you are steady, even when it doesn't feel that way inside. The frequency of healing is already in the ride. It's okay. You're okay. Bass says so. Rest now. Rest. That light at 6 o'clock. You know the one. Everything turns gold. Sun hitting the block at the angle that it does, making everything ordinary feel like it was always supposed to look this beautiful and slow. Neighbor washing the car in that amber glow. Kids on bikes doing the same route they always do. Old man on the porch doing what old men do. Nothing extraordinary happening at all, just the golden hour doing this thing before the fall. And tonight, and I'm just here breathing it in. Bass underneath me like the concrete has its own skin. Warm from the whole day stored inside the street. Everything is slow and everything is sweet. Golden hour on my block, bass in the air. smoke rising slow like nobody cares. Nowhere to be and nothing to prove. Just the West Coast evening, finding its groove. Golden hour on my block, everything's fine. This ordinary moment is entirely mine. Funny how you travel looking for the feeling that was always right here on this block and ceiling of palm trees overhead, catching the last light. All those years searching for something that's right, and it was always this exact frequency, this bass line in this street, and this version of me sitting somewhere ordinary, being completely still, not chasing anything, just letting everything fill the space around me with its unremarkable grace. The most beautiful things don't shout, they just take up space. And the West Coast evening does exactly that. Quiet and golden and right where it's at. Golden hour on my block, bass in the air, smoke rising slow like nobody cares. Nowhere to be and nothing to prove. Just the West Coast evening, finding its groove. Golden hour on my block, everything's fine. This ordinary moment is entirely mine. Not thinking about tomorrow, not carrying yesterday. Just this light, just this space, just this block, just right now. That's the whole thing. Gonna remember this specific evening someday, when everything is different and further away. Gonna close my eyes and come back to this street, to this bass line and this light and this particular heat of the pavement, releasing the day back to the air, to the smell of somebody's dinner everywhere, to the sound of nothing happening and it being enough. The moments that save you aren't dramatic or tough, they're this golden and slow and heavy with bass, ordinary and perfect, and holding their place in the memory that you'll reach for when you need to remember who you were before the speed. Golden hour, still here, still mine. West Coast, forever. Got a good life and still feel the pull towards something else. Don't know what to do with that. Everything I prayed for, I've been living for a while. The people and the purpose and the particular style of life I said I wanted back when I had nothing, got it all. And something in me still keeps searching. I'm grateful every single morning, but the wanting didn't stop, just changed its form. And now it's reaching for the version of myself I haven't met, the one that's further along and hasn't got there yet. And I carry that alongside everything I love, the contentment and the reaching, push and shove, coexisting in the chest like two true things at once. Both of them legitimate and neither one affront. The way to wanting more when you already have is the loneliest feeling. Nobody does the math on how you hold the gratitude and still feel the reach. How the life you love and the life you want both teach something true, and the bass holds both at once. The weight of wanting more, that's not a front. Used to think the wanting meant something was wrong, that grateful people didn't keep the wanting strong. But
Maybe wanting is just how the living works, the signal that there's still more in this. It irks and it drives and it reaches and it won't sit still. Even in the good life, even when it's all fulfilled, there's a direction that the self keeps pointing to, not away from what you have, just through to the next room, the next version, the next true thing about yourself you haven't met yet. And you carry that alongside all the love you build. The weight of wanting more without the guilt. The weight of wanting more when you already have is the loneliest feeling. Nobody does the math on how you hold the gratitude and still feel the reach. How the life you love and the life you want both teach something true, and the bass holds both at once. The weight of wanting more, that's not a front. Grateful and still reaching, both true at the same time. The bass doesn't ask you to choose, it holds both. Always hold both. Now I hold them both without trying to resolve the gratitude and reaching as the same revolve around the central thing, which is being alive. And alive means always something left to drive toward, not because the present isn't enough, but because the self keeps growing. And that's the stuff of being human, always becoming something new, always carrying the old life and the coming through. And the base beneath it all just stays the same way, holding the gratitude and the reaching and the wait for the version of yourself that's on the way. That's the whole heavy, beautiful, complicated day. Grateful, still reaching, both, always both, bass notes. Not tired from not sleeping, tired from carrying. You know the difference. Slept 8 hours and woke up the same way. That kind of tired that sleep can't relocate. It sits behind the eyes and in the shoulders low, in the chest where all the unspoken things go. Tired of holding the shape of being okay. Tired of performing composure every day. Tired of being the one who handles what comes without anyone asking where that handling comes from. Tired of the gap between who I show the world and who I am, when all of it gets unfurled at the end of the day. In a room by myself with the bass and the smoke and nothing on the shelf left to pretend with, just the tired and the real, and the music that knows exactly what I feel. Tired in a way that sleep won't fix. Tired of the weight and the daily mix of holding it together and holding it in. Tired before the day has even been worth being tired for. Just carrying on. Tired in a way that turns into this song. It's the kind where someone asks how you're doing, and the real answer takes too long, and the pursuing of honesty feels like more energy than you have. So you say fine and smile and save the aftermath for later, for the drive home, for this bass For the session where you don't have to show a face, where the tired gets to just be tired without having to justify itself or have a route to somewhere better by the end of the night, where it just gets to exist in the dim light, and the bass holds it without asking why. And that's enough, there has to be enough tonight. Tired in a way that sleep won't fix, tired of the weight in the daily mix of holding it together and holding it in. Tired before the day has even been worth being tired for. Just carrying on, tired in a way that turns into this song. You don't have to be okay tonight. You don't have to figure out where the tired comes from. You don't have to fix it before you sleep. Just let the bass hold the weight for a while. Just for tonight. Put it down right here. The bass will watch it. Maybe the tide is information, not the flaw. Maybe it's the body filing a report on what it saw during all the weeks of giving without filling back up. During all the yes when everything was asking stop. And the tide is just the build arriving finally, for the energy spent on everything but me. And paying it looks like this: the slow and the bass, the smoke and the sitting in the tired with grace. Not rushing through it, not performing recovery, just being in the wait until it's done with me. That's the only way through it that I found to be true. Let the bass hold the heavy while the rest comes through. Still tired, but held. Bass has got it. Rest now. Really rest.
Been looking for this feeling everywhere. Turns out it was always right here. Look for it in movement and in changing things, in the next chapter and what next summer brings. Look for it in people and in being known, in the version of myself that felt fully grown. Look for it in sessions and in music and in smoke, in the bass and in the healing, in the words I wrote. And it was here the whole time, in the sitting still, in the ordinary Tuesday, in the unhurried will, to just be present to whatever this is. No destination, no arrival, just the fizz of being alive in a particular place, with the bass below my feet and the smoke in my face. The peace was always here, I just had to stop running long enough to feel it from the bottom to the top. The peace was always here, in the bass and the slow, in the West Coast evening, in the amber glow. The peace was always here, I didn't need to find it, just needed to sit down and remind it that I was here too, present and awake. The peace was always here for the taking. It feels like the bass when it drops and stays low, like the first deep breath when you finally let go, like the moment in the drive when the song comes on and you realize you've been holding yourself wrong all week. Shoulders up and jaw too tight, and the bass just drops them both into the night. That's peace, not a destination but a release, a physical thing that lives below the crease of daily stress. Accessible and real, as close as the sub-bass and as easy as the feel of exhaling completely and meaning it this time. Peace was never somewhere else, it was always mine. The peace was always here. I just had to stop running long enough to feel it from the bottom to the top. The peace was always here. In the bass, in the slow, in the West Coast evening, in the amber glow. The peace was always here. I didn't need to find it, just needed to sit down and reminded that I was here too, present and awake. The peace was always here for the taking. If you've been searching a long time, I hear you. The search is real, but so is this. The bass underneath you right now, that's it. That's the whole thing. You already arrived. Something about the West Coast makes this easier. The light that stays longer in the air that's greasier, with warmth and ocean and the bass and everything. The way the evening settles like it means something. Like the whole coast exhales at the end of each day and invites you to do the same. To just stay in the moment, in the bass, in the particular smell of this evening. Doing what evenings do well, which is holding you in something larger than your worry. Reminding you the world was never in that hurry. You were, and now you're not. And now the bass and the West Coast piece have put you back in place. The peace was always here. I just had to stop running long enough to feel it from the bottom to the top. The peace was always here. In the bass, in the slow, in the West Coast evening, in the amber glow. The peace was always here. I didn't need to find it, just needed to sit down and reminded that I was here too, present and awake. The peace was always here. Always here. Always here. Always here. Always here. West Coast. Bass. Peace. You already arrived. You always were here. Forever. Forever. I'm gonna be alright. Not performing that, actually feel it tonight. Been a long road to this particular feeling. Lot of sessions in the dark, just dealing with the weight of things I couldn't name out loud. Carrying them here into the bass and the cloud. Smoking, letting the music do the holding, while I slowly did the work of just unfolding. Layer by layer, the defended and the raw. The person underneath the person that you saw. And that person needed time and space and grace. Needed to be sat with in a quiet place. Needed bass frequencies and dim lights and slow music that said, I know, I know, I know I am gonna be alright. Not because it's easy, because I survived the night. I am gonna be alright. Not tomorrow fixed, just today I feel the light. I am gonna be alright. The bass told me first, before I believed it, through the best and the worst. I am gonna be alright. I am gonna be alright. Yeah. It looked like canceled plans to just stay in, and it looked like finally letting someone in. It looked like crying at the baseline of a song, and it looked like realizing I've been strong for so long that I've forgotten how to feel. And the music cracked that open, made it real. It looked like therapy and hard conversations, and it looked like grace across the generations. The pain I inherited and pain I made. And it looked like choosing not to be afraid of the softness, choosing to let the bass hold the parts of me I never let be told. I am gonna be alright. Not because it's easy, because I survived the night. I am gonna be alright. Not tomorrow fixed, just a day I feel the light. I am gonna be alright. The bass told me first, before I believed it, through the best and the worst. I am gonna be alright. I am gonna be alright. If you're in the part of the journey where alright feels very far away, it's not. The bass is already holding you there, already keeping the frequency warm. You're gonna get there. Through the smoke, through the sessions, through the music, you're gonna get there. Now I sit in this room with the bass and the smoke, and I don't feel like someone who's about to broke. I feel like someone who has been somewhere real and come back with a different kind of feel. Not perfect, not finished, not without the hard days, but present, but open, navigating the hallways of my own interior with a little more light, a little more willingness to sit with the night, and trust the bass to hold what needs to be held, and trust the healing to unfold at the pace that it felt natural and real in mine, not forced or performed, just slowly and honestly and completely transformed. I am gonna be alright. Not because it's easy, because I survived the night. I am gonna be alright. Not tomorrow fixed, just today I feel the light. I am gonna be alright. The bass told me first, before I believed it, through the best and the worst. I am gonna be alright. I am gonna be alright. Alright. Gonna be alright. Already are. Bass knew it first. Now you know it too. Peace. Real peace. Had 3 good days, then a bad one. That's how it goes. Thought I was further along than this by now. Had a whole good week, then hit a wall somehow. Cried about something small on a Tuesday afternoon. Thought I was past that, guess I assumed that healing went in one direction only, forward and away from everything lonely. But it doesn't, it spirals and it doubles back. Goes forward 3 steps, then 2 steps back. And I'm learning not to read the bad day as a sign that all the work I've done is come undone. It's time. One bad day doesn't erase the whole repair. It just means I'm human and the process isn't fair. Healing is not a straight line. Nobody told me that. Some days you're all the way forward, some days you're back. Healing is not a straight line, and that's okay. The bass holds you through the forward and the backward. Healing is not a straight line. It's more like smoke, rising slow and winding, beautiful and broke. But here's the thing, the bad day doesn't show how different I respond now to the undertow. Used to drown in it, now I float a while. Used to lose a week, now I lose a mile. The recovery is faster even when the fall still comes. That's the metric, not the absence of the numb, but how quickly you come back to yourself again. And I'm coming back faster than I did back then. The bass has something to do with that, I think. Every time I'm standing at the edge about to sink, the low end catches me before I hit the floor. Reminds me I've been here before and found the door. Healing is not a straight line. Nobody told me that. Some days you're all the way forward, some days you're back. Healing is not a straight line, and that's okay. The bass holds you through the forward and the backward. Healing is not a straight line. It's more like smoke, rising slow and winding, beautiful and broad. You're allowed to still be healing, even if it's been a while. Even if people think you're done, even if you thought you were done. Healing takes as long as it takes, and the bass is patient. The bass has nowhere else to be. Maybe the winding is the point of the whole thing. Maybe straight line healing wouldn't teach anything. Every setback brought a piece of understanding. Every bad day after good days kept me landing in reality, which is where the healing lies, not in some future state where everything gives way to permanent peace and no more hard nights, but right here in the bass and the dim lights, in the willingness to show up to the session. Even on the days that feel like regression, that's the work. Just showing up and breathing through. The bass will meet you every time you do. Still healing. And that's okay. Still here. Still trying. Bass patient as ever. Always. Still love them. From over here. Just can't go back. Not the kind of love that ended badly, not the kind of love that left me broken sadly. Just the kind that lives on the other side of time, where the person or the place doesn't line up with where I am now. Parallel roads, both real, both love, both carrying their loads in different directions that can't circle back. And the love is still completely intact. Just that the distance now, which is its own way, different from the lost, more like a gate that you stand beside and look through as something true that you carry with you but can't walk back to. Love somebody from a distance, that's its own thing. Not heartbreak exactly, more like remember. Love somebody from a distance, warm and real across the time and the space and the things you feel. Changed into love doesn't need proximity. Love somebody from a distance, that's still me. There's a version of my younger self I love from here, the one who didn't know yet what was going to appear. So full of unformed wanting and becoming, before the world shaped me, that one keeps me running back in memory. I love that kid from this side, wish I could tell them everything will be alright. And there's a person who became a different person, who I love completely, still do. The version that existed then is still someone I hold in the bass line, in the smoke, in the carefully told truth of who they were to me. That love lives on, even when the person it was given to has gone in the direction that their life needed to take. Love from a distance, real love for both our sake. Love somebody from a distance, that's its own thing. Not hard
exactly. More like remembering. Love somebody from a distance. Warm and real. Across the time and the space and the things you feel. Change into love doesn't need proximity.
Love somebody
From a distance.
that's still me. The bass holds things across distance. Low frequencies travel further than sound, further than time, further than the roads that went different ways. This bass is for them, whoever they are now. Wherever they are now, I hope they feel it. I used to think that love required the presence, that without the proximity it lost its essence, but it doesn't. Love is not a lease, it's a deed. You own it permanently, regardless of the need to have the person in the room or the place in reach. Love crosses every distance that the roads can teach, and I carry mine for everyone who went a different way. In the bass line, in the smoke at the end of every day, not with sadness, with the specific kind of warmth that only comes from loving something through a storm of changing time and distance and still finding it intact. That's the heaviest, most beautiful thing. Loving like that. Love somebody from a distance. That's its own thing. Not heartbreak exactly. More like remembering. Love somebody from a distance. Warm and real. Across the time and the space and the things you feel. Changed into love doesn't need proximity. Love somebody from a distance. That's still me. Still me. Still me. Still me. Still me. Still love you from over here. Bass carries it all the way to you, wherever you are.